This is News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Good afternoon and welcome to Live at 4. Former Packers quarterback and Pro Football Hall of Famer Brett Favre has Parkinson's disease.
A three-time NFL MVP, Favre remains one of the best Packers players ever, leading them to multiple Super Bowls in the 90s, winning one in the 96 season. Favre announced his diagnosis while testifying before Congress this morning. Lawmakers are questioning him about accusations that he helped divert federal welfare funds meant for needy families. In 2019, Favre hosted Mississippi officials at his home where a pharmaceutical company executive solicited nearly $2 million in state welfare funds. Favre made reference to that company upon making the revelation.
Sadly, I also lost an investment in a company that I believed was developing a breakthrough concussion drug I thought would help others, and I'm sure you'll understand why it's too late for me because I've recently been diagnosed with Parkinson's.
Favre denies any wrongdoing and says he repaid more than $1 million in fees for speeches he never delivered and for radio spots that were paid for from the Mississippi Welfare Fund. He's yet to be charged with the crime.
We'll be talking about Parkinson's later on in the show, but let's get a look at your first warn forecast. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington is outside on the patio. Hey, Alex.
Hey there, Brady, and enter the sun. It's just filtering in through those clouds that much of southern Wisconsin has been experiencing. So what a nice way to end the day as we move into fall-like temperatures finally across southern Wisconsin. We got 69 in Madison. Winds are pretty light, and you can even see a little bit of the sun in the capital there in our Upland Hills sponsored Skycam here. It will be a mild night, or a mild evening rather, across southern Wisconsin. Typical for this time of year as we plan the rest of the evening going down into the 60s. I know we've been in the 70s and the 80s, so this will feel a little bit cooler, but overall quite refreshing. Skies will be clearing out overnight too, with overnight lows pretty close to 50. Can't rule out a little bit of patchy fog to wake up to as we move into Wednesday morning. And then a glorious day on Thursday. Look at the sunny skies, mid 70s for high temperatures. That's about 5 degrees above normal for this time of year. And we're going to stay warm through the end of the week, and then going into the weekend, we have clouds building in and some shower chances. We have a tropical system in the Caribbean, and it may be making a visit to southern Wisconsin. More on that in a few minutes.
Thank you, Alex. Well, we are on day 3 of the bus rapid transit rollout. Now, something that opens the doors for faster transportation for tens of thousands of Madison residents.
The Madison BRT didn't get the green light overnight, and our Merrill Hubbard is here to guide us through the years that made BRT a reality. Merrill.
Yeah, Jalen and Brady, Route A marks the initial launch of BRT, but the concept of this transit system in the city of Madison began in 2013 when the Greater Madison MPO completed the Transit Corridor Study. That concluded that a BRT system in this city projected potential success. Fast forward to 2017, City of Madison Metro Transit and Greater Madison MPO determined that the east-west corridor made the most sense for the initial launch. So in 2018, the Madison East-West Planning Study started, and it lasted till the fall of 2019. We got through COVID, and on January 5th, 2021, the locally preferred alternative was adopted by the Madison Common Council, and the project was selected for FTA Small Starts funding in that same year. Since then, we have seen the construction and the painting of the BRT on our roadways, and today marks the official ribbon cutting for the first route of many. On Madison's west side, dozens of people celebrated the first BRT launch in the city. City officials, engineers, Metro Transit, the fire department, and many more institutions were there to represent the amount of minds it took to get the BRT wheels turning. Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway started the ceremony thanking all of the organizations and the Biden and Harris administration for the infrastructure bill that helped fund the project. We also got to hear from an MMSD board member who is a daily rider. She's had a great experience so far, but understands there's still going to be some growing pains.
Some people think the stations are a little too far away. I think that we have some growing pains that will obviously happen, and we'll plan that out so that routes work even more efficiently. But overall, I've heard good things.
Ridership estimates that the rapid route will serve up to 14,000 daily riders. This number will only increase as more routes are established around the city. And coming up tonight at 5, we're going to hear from more representatives about the ribbon cutting as well as daily riders to hear about their experience on the new system.
Well, right now you can go to channel3000.com and find our special page dedicated to all things BRT, and that includes how to use the routes and all of our past coverage leading up to its launch this week. Now, it's the first thing you'll see on the channel3000.com homepage. Thank you, Meryl.
Madison police are looking for someone they say attacked 2 people with a knife last weekend. This was at City Bar on State Street. It's a popular location for UW students. Officers responded at 1 in the morning Sunday. They say the suspect stabbed a 58-year-old man in his neck. The victim's son tried to help his father, and the suspect cut him with a knife as well. The victim's recovering in the hospital, but the suspect left before police arrived. The Violent Crime Unit is leading the investigation.
What do sheep and solar panels have in common? Well, actually, a lot more than you'd think.
I guess so, and our Ellie La Liberté shows us how sheep are helping Madison Gas and Electric meet its sustainability goals.
When you think of solar farm maintenance, you probably think of keeping up the equipment, but what about keeping up the grounds? Well, there's one unique way to do it. Solar grazing keeps grasses from blocking solar panels. By using sheep, it avoids the need for fossil fuels when mowing. The Tyto Solar Farm in Fitchburg is 13,000 panels and powers 1,400 homes a year. It's part of Madison Gas and Electric's goal for 80% reduction in carbon emissions by 2030.
Back in July, the sheep arrived, and it's been going great. It's a really cool thing to see, and really what they do is they're out here to maintain the ground cover in a sustainable way. So in a lot of ways, it's, you're getting a double bang for your buck, so to speak.
The solar facility came on in February, and the sheep will stay on the grounds through October. Then they will be moved to a farm for the winter and brought back next spring. Tonight at 5, meet the farmer who cares for these sheep. Reporting in Fitchburg, Ellie La Liberté, News 3 Now.
Ellie, thank you. Madison Gas and Electric also has pollinator habitats. The goal is to utilize all the land in the solar facilities.
Well, coming up on Live at 4, a new report shows some products marketed for babies can actually cause some harm.
What you should be looking out for when we return.
Join Stoughton Health's Dr. Aaron Schwab on September 26th to learn about simple outpatient treatments that can alleviate varicose or spider veins. To register for the free educational talk, visit stoughtonhealth.com and click on Classes and Events.
If you're about to replace your roof, stop. There's a solution about 80% less expensive. 9 out of 10 roofs can be saved by RoofMax. Guaranteed to extend the life of your current roof by 5 to 15 years at a fraction of the cost of a new roof. RoofMax's deep penetrating power restores flexibility and water protection. Nobody wants to replace their roof. Restore it instead with RoofMax for 80% less. Call now for a free roof inspection.
When a crane collapsed during construction of a Major League sports stadium, 3 workers lost their lives. Their widows called us. When maintenance workers were permanently injured by an industrial accident at a public utilities power plant, the 7 injured workers called us. When a factory exploded, injuring dozens of workers, 18 victims, including all 3 families of men who lost their lives, called us. Because Wisconsinites know who to call when it's a must-win scenario. They call Habish, Habish & Rotier. National reputation, hometown service.
My husband and I are going through IVF treatments now. It could be our only chance to have a family. But Donald Trump's plan could ban IVF in some states. My husband is in the military. He volunteered to serve. We are patriots and we go where he is assigned. What if we end up in a state where IVF is no longer legal? What will we do then?
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Upgrading your home this summer? Then you need the experts at Feldco. Let us bring your project to life and save you money. Right now at Feldco, get 30% off roofing and siding with no interest for 3 years. With experienced craftsmen dedicated to every detail, combined with products made in the USA, you'll enjoy value and curb appeal. 30% off roofing and siding ends Monday. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
With Chevy trucks, be ready for adventure. With power you can count on. Capability that doesn't compromise. A hard-working EV with more range than any competitor and the potential to take you anywhere.
Get 0% financing plus make no monthly payments for 90 days on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. Or get $5,750 total value on this Silverado.
See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
No more waiting to see a general surgeon. Stoughton Health can see you within a week. We accept over 160 insurances, including Dean Health Plan and Quartz. Ask for Dr. Aaron Schwab, board-certified general surgeon. Learn more at stoughtonhealth.com.
The U.S. Department of Justice is accusing Visa of illegally monopolizing the debit card market. Attorney General Merrick Garland announced the suit today. The DOJ says Visa has abused its dominant position in the market to force businesses to use its network instead of competitors. The DOJ says Visa's been doing this for more than a decade. The complaint says more than 60% of debit transactions in the U.S. are on Visa's network. In turn, the company charges more than billions of dollars in processing fees. There's been no word yet from Visa.
A new study shows nearly 200 chemicals connected to breast cancer are used to make food packaging and plastic tableware. Dozens of those carcinogens can migrate into our bodies. Researchers say 40 of the recently detected chemicals in food packaging are already classified as hazardous by regulatory agencies around the world. The FDA has come under fire for its failure to act on health concerns about thousands of chemicals added to our food. Tomorrow, the agency's holding a public meeting to present its ideas on how to fix some of those problems.
A recent report shows the dangers some nursery products pose to young children. Well, between 2019 and 2021, there were more than 500 deaths associated with nursery products among children under 5. The vast majority of those deaths were linked to cribs, mattresses, bassinets, cradles, playpens, and more. Doctors recommend getting babies their own dedicated firm, flat sleep surface. Make sure the sleep space is bare and there's nothing on it but a fitted sheet.
So no blankets, no pillows, no stuffies. We have to remember that just because it looks like it might be comfortable for your child doesn't mean that it's necessarily safe.
You should also check to make sure your sleeping product meets federal requirements and hasn't been recalled. You can check for that on the Consumer Product Safety Commission's website.
Today is the first day of Instagram's new teen accounts. Parent company Meta is now automatically setting all accounts for users under 18 to private. The rules include limits on who can message underage users, restricting it only to accounts the teens are connected to. 16 and 17-year-olds will be able to turn the settings off. Anyone under the age of 16 will need their parents' permission to do so.
The latest home price report shows a record high for a 14th month in a row. July's home price index shows a 5% increase from the previous July. But it's not all bad news. The pace of home price growth in July is still slowing down. Mortgage rates are also down. At last check, the average 30-year fixed rate mortgage was at its lowest level since early 2023.
The head of the Federal Aviation Administration says Boeing has to make significant changes to improve the safety of its planes. Agency Administrator Michael Whitaker told Congress both the FAA and Boeing have made changes since the incident early this year when a door plug blew off of a Boeing plane mid-flight. But he says a full turnaround will take years.
What we're looking at is just to see that there's a real safety culture, not just safety's first as a slogan, but a real safety culture that permeates everything that's done and comes first before production goals or operational goals or mission goals or financial goals.
Today is just the first of 2 days of hearings about Boeing's issues. Boeing hasn't commented on Whitaker's comments. This as the thousands of striking union workers rejected the company's, quote, final offer.
Election day is just 6 weeks away, and the polls show Vice President Harris and former President Trump are neck and neck in key swing states. Two of the main issues, the economy and the border. Polling shows most voters favor Trump on those issues. To fight that, Harris will reportedly make a stop at the U.S.-Mexico border this Friday while she's campaigning in Arizona. Polling of the Sunbelt state recently showed Trump leading. This as border crossings are at the lowest they've been since 2020. Meanwhile, the Trump campaign is doubling down on claims the former president made at the debate earlier this month. In addition to the economy and immigration, polling shows abortion is a factor motivating many people to vote. During a rally in Pennsylvania, Trump tried to argue abortion is no longer an issue. Later this week, Trump will campaign here in Wisconsin. His campaign says he'll be making a stop in Prairie du Chien on Saturday morning.
And after that visit, Trump's scheduled to head back to the site of the first attempt on his life. He'll be holding a rally next weekend in Butler, Pennsylvania, where he was shot in the ear while speaking. It comes as both Democratic and Republican lawmakers are criticizing the Secret Service for its failure to protect Trump. A Senate committee is expected to release a report on the Secret Service's handling of that shooting tomorrow.
The American people are going to be appalled and astonished by what's in this report, the accumulation of gross incompetence that puts the president in danger and could result in continuing insecurity.
The report will come just days after the acting director of the Secret Service admitted a breach of protocol before the Pennsylvania rally. It's less than 2 weeks from a second apparent assassination attempt on the former president.
In the Middle East, Israel and Hezbollah are continuing to trade strikes one day after Israeli attacks targeting the group killed more than 500 people in Lebanon. That number has been growing since the strikes happened, making Monday the deadliest day in Lebanon in nearly 2 decades. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has told people in Lebanon to evacuate areas where the IDF is targeting Hezbollah. Today, Israel said it killed one of the group's top commanders. The latest developments are sparking fears of a widening conflict in the region.
That conflict is hanging over leaders at this week's General Assembly in New York.
For President Biden, the week is an opportunity to call for greater diplomacy and say goodbye to the world stage. CBS News' Michael George reports from New York.
President Biden took the stage before world leaders at the General Assembly.
I know I look like I'm only 40. I know that.
At the age of 81, it was his last time at this podium as America's commander-in-chief. He spoke about the accomplishments of his administration and about his decision to withdraw from the presidential race.
My fellow leaders, let us never forget, some things are more important than staying in power. It's your people.
He also reaffirmed his support for Ukraine and expressed hope that diplomacy can prevent a larger war from consuming the Middle East.
Full-scale war is not in anyone's interest. Even if the situation has escalated, a diplomatic solution is still possible. In fact, it remains the only path to lasting security.
Some of that diplomacy is happening along the sidelines, including remarks from Israel's ambassador to the UN. The Israeli envoy said his country would prefer a diplomatic solution to de-escalate the conflict with Hezbollah militants in Lebanon.
If they will not fire rockets into Israel, and we will be able to bring back our residents back to their communities, that's it. You have no escalation.
Both the Israeli and Palestinian leaders will address the General Assembly later this week, as well as Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, scheduled to speak on Wednesday. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Well, let's get a look at your first warn forecast. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington is back in the studio. Summer is just not letting us go.
It wants to stick around. Fall started on Sunday, and now we go back to summer-like weather. It's part of the 3 things you need to know. Temperatures going back into the mid to upper 70s, staying dry through Friday. And Helene, a tropical system that's gaining strength in the Caribbean, may make a visit to southern Wisconsin by the time we get to the upcoming weekend. Well, let's talk about right now, 69 in Madison. We've got some sun now shining on the Capitol here. Dew point's at 57. That's that measure of moisture. I also bring it up because as the dew point falls, that's as cool as our temperature can get at night. And we're going to see those go down, and our temperatures are going to go down tonight, too. It'll be a seasonable night. Let's plan the evening. 60s. I plan to get a walk in this evening. Jacob will be here a little bit later for the 10 o'clock newscast as skies clear on out. And here's that verification. Skies are clearing out to the south and west on our Platteville Skycam, and that will continue across the rest of southern Wisconsin. Back in history, temperatures and water, our main weather story here. Look at all this red. Temperatures averaging between 10 to 15 plus degrees above normal for a good portion of September. And then we cooled off as fall came. As we head into that Sunday time frame, fall started and those temperatures were at normal for this, or a little bit below normal. But then we go right back above normal for a good portion of the next 10 days. We got a cold front coming through by the time we get to Monday. But before that, we have a weather system that we're going to be tracking. Now, Helene is going to be making news for the next couple of days across the Caribbean, looking to make landfall over portions of the panhandle of Florida. And then it pivots off towards the north and towards the west, right into the upper Midwest, potentially bringing us some weather as we go on into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. First, the clouds, as we give you a first glimpse of Helene's cloud mass making it towards the north and towards the west. Friday going on into Saturday. A few showers across the Wisconsin-Illinois border. This weather model keeping most of the shower activity towards the south and towards the east, but clouds and that chance of showers nonetheless as we go into later Saturday into Sunday. Monday, we have a chance of showers because that cold front's going to come, and that's going to scoot all of the leftovers of Helene if Helene makes it this far to the north. And behind that, those temperatures taking a dive to fall-like readings below normal for a change for at least Tuesday and Wednesday, and then back up to normal. Look at this pretty picture sent to us here. Harry, thank you so much for sending us that photo, beautiful, stunning photo of our Capitol with those amber colors at sunset. If you have your phone, you're sitting and watching our live newscast right now, take your phone, scan that QR code. It links right up to the channel3000.com/weather page, and then you can upload your photos just like Harry did. Isn't that pretty?
That is very nice.
Absolutely. Thank you, Alex. And up next on Live at 4, an alternative to getting your kid a smartphone.
Oh, good luck, everyone. Consumer Reports has everything you need to know about smartwatches when we come back.
At Affordable Dentures and Implants, we want you to go ahead and smile. Right now, new denture wearers get a free upgrade to our premium denture for the price of an economy. Call today. Offer ends October 7th.
Go ahead and smile.
Their Bidenomics led to the highest inflation in 40 years, highest gas prices ever, skyrocketing interest rates, unaffordable housing, incomes down, unemployment rising, and a recession now headed our way. Yet Kamala Harris is clueless.
We are very proud of Bidenomics. Bidenomics is working.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Imagine checking your own heart with medical precision from anywhere. Introducing KardiaMobile 6L, the FDA-cleared EKG that provides 6 times more heart data than any smartwatch. And it detects 3 of the most common arrhythmias in just 30 seconds, including atrial fibrillation, bradycardia, and tachycardia. Check your heart with the most advanced personal EKG outside the hospital. Get yours at Kardia.com or Amazon.
When it comes to winning internet, TDS is in a league of our own. Just like the Green Bay Packers, Wisconsin born and bred, we live, work, play, hire, and get involved in the communities we serve. Like delivering the green and gold standard of internet. 100% fiber internet that's as fast, powerful, and reliable as your other hometown favorite, the Packers. TDS, internet that's built Wisconsin strong.
Be the scariest house in the block this Halloween at Menards.
Democrats say everything's great, but when you're on a fixed income struggling to pay for gas, groceries, or medicine, it doesn't feel great.
Biden-Harris created this mess.
And Tammy Baldwin's been right there with them.
25 years in Washington. What's she done?
Raised taxes.
Added trillions in new debt.
And gave stimulus checks to illegals.
I'm Eric Hovde. I approve this message.
I'd like a stimulus check.
I'd like you to take out the trash.
Right now at Affordable Dentures and Implants, new denture wearers get a free upgrade to our premium denture. That's an average savings of $700. Call 1-800-DENTURE today. Offer ends October 7th.
Go ahead and smile.
Well, many parents and caregivers face a modern-day technological dilemma. They want to stay in contact with their kids, but they're not quite ready to give them a smartphone.
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit off air. I understand what that's like just a little bit. But one alternative is a smartwatch designed specifically for kids. Consumer Reports has the lowdown on high-tech watches that may be the perfect solution. Our Michelle Renee Quinn reports.
if you're not ready to hand your kid their first feature-filled smartphone just yet, but want them to stay in touch as they grow more independent, you are not alone.
My kid was going to middle school, and I wanted to have some way for them to get in contact in the event of an emergency. I also like to be reassured that I can track their location and see where they are.
That's why some parents are turning to smartwatches instead of phone.
Kids' smartwatches offer a lot of the same communication benefits as a smartphone, like calling and texting, but with more security and privacy and control.
Most are standalone devices with cellular connections that don't require a smartphone. They offer lots of features beyond calling and texting, including music, games, alarms, step counters, and some even include video chatting.
Most offer GPS, which is one of the features that the parents I talked with cared about most.
Parents can use an app on their phones to track their kids' location, approve a list of contacts, and access other controls.
If you're looking to buy a kid's smartwatch that offers texting and calling, it's likely that you'll need to pay some monthly fee to access those features, probably around $10 a month.
The watchmaker or a wireless carrier provides service plans. Keep in mind that some smartwatches are only compatible with certain carriers. For example, the Gizmo Watch 3 requires a new or existing Verizon plan, while the TikTok 5 only works at AT&T or T-Mobile. Parents may want to consider other features: the number of contacts a watch allows, durability, fit, and battery life, as more advanced kids' smartwatches may need to be charged daily. Bottom line,
think about what's most important for your family, and that's going to help you decide which model works best for you.
This is Michelle Renee Quinn.
Consumer Reports says you may also want to look for a quiet mode that can be turned on during school hours.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. You should also check if smartwatches are allowed in your kid's school before you buy one. Yeah. Back in my day, my first phone, I got it in college, and it was a boxy flip phone.
I want to say my very first phone was like some Nokia when I was a freshman in high school, but and we live in the digital age.
The battery lasted forever.
I know.
Okay, we gave you a little preview of this. Here's your reminder. This is the last week to donate to our Coats for Kids drive. We're partnering with the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County, Clinky Cleaners, and Magic 98 for the 39th annual Coats for Kids drive. Through Saturday, October 5th, you can drop off new or gently used winter coats at any area Clinky Cleaners. And we're also looking for hats, gloves, mittens, scarves, you know, anything to keep kids warm this winter. For more information on how to help, just go to this story on channel3000.com. And thank you to everyone who has donated so far.
Yeah, the temps are dropping day by day. I know it's pretty chilly here in the studio, so we could probably use a coat or two. But all right, still ahead, how the impacts of redlining continue to impact people in Madison and across the country.
Plus, new enrollment data from UW-Madison, how the chancellor is responding to decreasing enrollment of students of color.
Welcome to Oakmont Senior Community in Verona. Active seniors 55 plus will enjoy our new luxury apartments, professionally managed by award-winning Attic Angel. Call Demery today for a tour and reserve your place at Oakmont.
As a prosecutor, I never asked a victim or a witness, are you a Republican or a Democrat? The only thing I ever asked them, are you okay? And that's the kind of president we need right now. Someone who cares about you and is not putting themselves first. I intend to be a president for all Americans and focus on investing right now in you, the American people. And we can chart a new way forward. I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Fry Construction has done it again. For the 5th year, we won the prestigious Best of Madison Award, and it's all thanks to you. To celebrate, we're offering 29% off our exclusive Absolute Gutter System with any full roof or siding project. Our gutters are custom fabricated on-site for a perfect, seamless fit that's engineered to excel. Don't just beautify your home, beautify it with the experts you trust. Call Fry Construction today and let us show you why we're the best of Madison.
Quartz takes a different approach to health insurance. We know every life well lived is a journey, and we're here to light the way at every step. That's why for 40 years, we've been alongside the doctors and hospitals who know what their communities need, because they're a part of them, because we're a part of them. There's a fire burning in all of us. Let's ignite it together. Quartz. Find your spark.
When you need inspiration, it's worth shopping Pick and Save.
are thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals. And low prices that add up to big savings, like over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $2 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
Welcome to Oakmont Senior Community in Verona. Active seniors 55 plus will enjoy our new luxury apartments, professionally managed by award-winning Attic Angel. Call Demery today for a tour and reserve your place at Oakmont.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Jalen, you mentioned it's a little chilly in the studio, so it really
is.
feels good when you walk back outside.
Yeah, absolutely. I tried to step out for lunch earlier, but I just had to catch a quick phone call, and I certainly did warm back up.
Yes, those are our weather words. It's a pretty nice day out there, Alex.
It sure is. It's normal for this time of year, at least for today. And yesterday was a cool day. Cool, I put that in quote because it's normal for this time of year to have high temperatures in the upper 60s. We just have been pampered with those 80s for quite a few weeks through the first few weeks of September. No rain, and then that all changed over the course of the weekend for much of southern Wisconsin. But there we go, right back up into the 70s to near 80 this week, well above normal. And then we dip as we go into Monday, going into Tuesday of next week. A cold front will be moving across the upper Midwest, and that's going to be part of our weather story, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Right now, 69 in Madison on the Upland Hills sponsored Skycam. You can see the sun coming out because now it's making and illuminating the Capitol in the background there. Plan our evening. Temperatures going down from the near 70 out here in the patio to around 60 as you join Jacob tonight at the 10 o'clock newscast, getting into the upper 50s. Overnight lows are going to be right around 50 degrees. A little patchy fog to start off Wednesday morning. Can't rule that out as we plan forward here. Maybe some upper 40s in the Wisconsin River Valley and up towards Camp Douglas at a cool 46. But remember, these are temperatures normal for this time of year. We'll do the mid 70s as we go into Wednesday, and we're going to get even warmer than that by the end of the week. And at the end of the week, we've got clouds streaming in out ahead of our next weather system. The impacts of Helene, we'll talk about that and that cold front in my next main weather.
Thank you, Alex. Here's a look at your stocks today. Wall Street edging further into record highs. The Dow up 83.57, NASDAQ up just a little more than 100, and the S&P 500 up a little more than 14. Well, in the coming days, you may see a political advertisement shown during commercial breaks on WISC-TV and other Wisconsin television stations with graphic and disturbing images. Our station is required by law to run this ad.
But I'm sure many of you are asking why. Our Maddie Himes joins us now with more. Maddie?
Yeah, so this ad is for the campaign of Randall Terry. He's a presidential candidate representing the Constitution Party. We're only going to show the introduction of the ad, but there's other parts of it that contain, like you guys said, graphic imagery related to anti-abortion messaging. Terry will be on the ballot in 13 states, Wisconsin being one of them. And we wanted to hear directly from viewers on how advertisements like these affect them when they're watching from home. Here's what one viewer had to say.
So it leaves no choice for local broadcasters. And that's a real struggle when the content of the ad flies in the face of the values of the local broadcaster.
That's actually Katie Culver there. She's an expert in the topic, and experts say viewers should keep in mind who and where the content of the ad is coming from. Now, like I said, Culver, she is the director of the Center of Journalism Ethics at UW-Madison. She says laws like the candidate access law and the equal time rule keep TV stations from handpicking which ads make their waves.
So it leaves no choice for local broadcasters. And that's a real struggle when the content of the ad flies in the face of the values of the local broadcaster.
Culver tells me broadcasters are not required to show anything that isn't protected by the First Amendment, like highly sexualized material or overt obscenity. But as long as candidates stay within those restraints, they're free to purchase time slots and campaign on the air. Now, this particular ad we're referring to will begin airing tomorrow. Tonight on News 3 Now at 6, I'll have more from both viewers and a broadcast media attorney on how ads like these could impact the election.
Maddie, thank you. Now to an update on the case of a missing man in Dane County. The Sheriff's Department has updated Timothy Campbell's silver alert to a missing and endangered person alert. Now here's a couple pictures of him. The office says he's been missing since Saturday evening after leaving his group home in Roxbury. Campbell suffers from a brain injury that, without medicine, results in seizures. He's been without that medication since he disappeared. In the past, Campbell's run away and headed to Sauk City or the Lodi area. The Sheriff's Office is asking anyone who sees him to check in on him and call the Dane County Communications Center. You can also call Detective Todd Dosher at the number at the bottom of your screen. That is 608-575-242040.
UW-Madison says this year's freshman class is the second largest in its history, but it's a little less diverse. It's the first freshman class to be admitted since the Supreme Court's decision striking down affirmative action. The rate of black student enrollment dropped from 3 to 2.1%. Hispanic student enrollment dropped from 10 to 8.5%. Multiracial student enrollment dropped from 5.2% to 4.7%. The number of Asian students enrolled went down 0.2%, but the number of Asian freshmen went up. Meanwhile, white student enrollment increased by more than 2%. Chancellor Jennifer Mnuchin weighed in on those numbers, saying in part, though the declines are disappointing, I want to be clear that our commitment to these students and their communities remains steadfast. After a disappointing loss and a bye week to follow, the Badgers are ready to get back into Big Ten play.
And Wisconsin will hit the road for their first conference matchup of the season with Big Ten newcomer USC. I know that's still a little weird for us traditional Midwesterners to hear, but our sports director Zach Hanley sat down with California native and former USC Trojan CJ Williams. He says he thinks his trip back home is going to be surreal.
Feeling that I don't think it's going to hit me until I walk into the Coliseum, because obviously I played a lot of games there when I was there, but to be on the opposite sideline, opposite team, I was just thinking about today being in that opposite locker room. It's going to be different, and I think it's a cool experience to be able to go home and play in front of so many people that I know, be on the field with guys that I grew up with, play against my old coaches, and just be with a lot of guys that care about me on our sideline and a lot of people in the stands that care about me as well.
You can watch Wisconsin Huddle Friday nights at 6:30 right after News 3 Now at 6, and don't forget you can watch the Badgers matchup with the Trojans also right here on Saturday at 2:30. We're back after this.
3 years ago, I had an abortion of a desperately wanted and loved baby. Joan Ballwig wants to ban all abortion, with no exceptions. Not for rape or incest, not to save the mother's life. I know what it's like when women have to make these heartbreaking decisions. The very last person who should have anything to do with it is a politician like Joan Ballwig.
This is Good News Madison, brought to you by Don's Home Furniture.
Overture Center's mission is to support and elevate the community's creative culture through the arts. So 2024 marks the 20th anniversary of the opening of Overture Center for the Arts, and we are celebrating all of what we call the O moments that people experience when they come to Overture.
And that is Good News Madison, brought to you by Don's Home Furniture.
Psoriatic arthritis symptoms can be unpredictable. One day, your joints hurt.
Next sits on your skin.
I got Cosentix. Feels good to move.
Feel less joint pain, swelling and tenderness, back pain, and clearer skin, and help stop further joint damage with Cosentix. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentix. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur. Some are fatal. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms like fevers, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, had a vaccine or plan to, or if inflammatory bowel disease symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions and severe eczema-like skin reactions may occur.
I feel better.
Check out these moves.
Just bust a move. Ask your rheumatologist about Cosentix.
Right now, we're running our 60-60-60 sale. So when you purchase your new concrete coating, you get a $60 Visa gift card plus either 60% off installation or 60-month no-interest financing. This is one of our best deals of the year, so visit our website or call the number for your new floor today.
Direct from Las Vegas.
It's yesterday once more.
From the creators of Oh What a Night, a brand new show, Yesterday Once More. Featuring the music of the Carpenters, ABBA, The Fifth Dimension, Mamas and the Papas. Great musical memories with Yesterday Once More.
It's yesterday once.
Thursday, October the 10th, 7 p.m. at the Playhouse in Madison. Get your tickets at the Overture Ticket Office.
New at 5, Madison's new bus rapid transit system is officially rolling, but the journey to get here has been nearly a decade in the making. We'll see how we got here.
Warming up this week ahead of our next rainmaker, will Helene, a tropical system, make a visit to southern Wisconsin? I have all the answers tonight at 5.
And ahead at 6, the Gaza conflict has divided the nation. We take a look at the impacts in our own backyard. That's tonight on News 3 Now at 6, 3 for the people.
A new national study shows old redlining policies are still affecting the risk of childhood asthma.
The study uses data from a group run by UW health expert Dr. Jim Gurn. Earlier, I spoke with Gurn about the impact the policies have had on kids here in Madison and across the country, and what solutions are needed.
Redlining actually started in 1933. There was a corporation called the Homeowners Loan Corporation that was created by the government to expand home ownership and prevent foreclosures by financing mortgages, which sounds like a good thing. The only problem was that they created maps of urban areas and categorized the neighborhoods into color-coded zones, primarily based on race and ethnicity of the residents. And the red line neighborhoods were considered hazardous and really didn't get the loans, largely because of having a large number of residents who were black.
And so how exactly would this impact a child's health and eventually lead them to developing asthma?
Yeah, that's a great question. Without that investment to build up the neighborhoods and have homes that were owned by the owners, it led to racial segregation, reduced wealth, and eventually poverty in those neighborhoods. And we know that asthma, which is much higher in Black and Latino children, has been related to those sorts of social factors. Low access to medical care, what are called food deserts without good access to food sources, substandard housing, and exposures like pollution.
You had mentioned, Madison and other cities. How does Madison compare, or what have you guys been able to find in cities that were part of the study?
Yeah, income is very much related to the risk of asthma. So low-income families are much more likely to have asthma, and that's true in Madison just as it is in those other cities. These neighborhoods that were redlined have, particular challenges in terms of pollution, violence, poverty, et cetera. And what this study showed is it's really those factors that link the redlining to increased asthma.
Now, Gurn says some policy changes needed to address the root of the cause of health inequities, not just asthma, include combating racism.
It's a very interesting topic.
Yeah, again, we talked about this before we went back on air. I have asthma, so I definitely wanted to, shed a little bit of light as far as finding a solution to reduce, more kids developing the most common chronic disease for children.
Yeah, very good. Well, speaking of awareness, a major announcement from a former star Green Bay Packer could help millions who suffer from Parkinson's disease.
Dr. Bill Hartman joins us to talk about how Parkinson's affects someone and why Brett Favre's diagnosis could bring more awareness.
He told us who he was.
Should abortion be punished? There has to be some form of punishment.
Then he showed us.
For 54 years, they were trying to get Roe v. Wade terminated, and I did it, and I'm proud to have done it.
Now Donald Trump wants to go further with plans to restrict birth control, ban abortion nationwide, even monitor women's pregnancies. We know who Donald Trump is. He'll take control. We'll pay the price.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Champion's big window sale is back.
Do you have ugly, hard-to-open, drafty windows? Now is the best time to buy new Champion windows, because when you buy two, you get two free. Buy 2 Champion windows, get 2 free? I guess that means if you buy 4, you get 4 free. Buy 6, get 6 free. Buy 10, get 10 free.
Hurry, Champion's Buy 2, Get 2 free sale is for a limited time.
Great job, everybody. Thanks.
Call 888-4CHAMPION or schedule your free in-home estimate online today.
Gas, groceries, school supplies, everything costs more. Eggs are almost twice as much as they were 4 years ago. Biden, Harris, and the Democrats keep telling us things are better. They aren't better. And Tammy Baldwin is making it worse. Raising taxes, running up debt, voting for spending that's driving inflation. 25 years in Washington and she's done nothing. It's time for a change.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message.
For 3 years in a row, Chevy has earned more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards than any other brand.
1, 2, 3.
Whether it's a high-tech SUV, the all-electric Equinox EV, or a truck for work or play, Chevy is America's most awarded brand for new vehicle quality. Qualified lessees can get this well-equipped 2025 Equinox LT for around $349 a month. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
After careful review of medical guidance and research on pain relief, my recommendation is simple. Every home should have Salon-Pause. Powerful, yet non-addictive. Targeted and long-lasting. I recommend Salon-Pause. It's good medicine.
Announcing the winners of Madison Magazine's Best of Madison Readers Poll for 2024. Congratulations to Pegasus Games for winning bronze for Best Gift Shop Specialty Store. Games you never outgrow on O'Dana Road, Madison. See all the winners on MadisonMagazine.com.
Brian Stiles said he's proud of his extreme record. So why is he lying about it? Stiles said he was proud to be part of a group pushing to gut Social Security and Medicare, that he proudly supports abortion bans. And Brian Stiles said he's proud to be backed by extremists pushing a total ban nationwide. Peter Barca's backed by police, firefighters, and unions because Peter puts Wisconsin first, no matter the party, and that's something to be proud of.
I'm Peter Barca, and I approve this message.
Well, doctors have diagnosed Brett Favre with Parkinson's disease, an incurable degenerative disorder of the nervous system that worsens over time. Symptoms can include tremors, movement difficulties, and speech changes.
UW Health's Dr. Bill Hartman is joining us to go over what this disease means for someone who has it. Dr. Hartman, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and like we said, people often associate this with the tremors. But there's a lot more to it than that with people living with this. So what does it mean for someone who is diagnosed with this?
Right, so it is a movement disorder that is associated with neurotransmitter issues within the central nervous system. And so it can start as like a pill rolling tremor in your hands and gradually will progress to a greater issue in terms of balance, being able to make expressions. Your muscles can become rigid. There's a lot of different manifestations that can happen because of this neurotransmitter imbalance in your nervous system, and it's something that is insidious. It'll start slow, but then it gradually worsens over your lifetime.
Now, Brett Favre is one of the most well-known and famous athletes in North America over the last 20 years or so. Can his recent diagnosis put this disease in more of a spotlight to help create more awareness?
Sure, just the same as it happened with when Michael J. Fox announced his Parkinson's years ago. Whenever you get a person of this stature in the spotlight with a disease like this, it will increase the interest in both the research and the people willing to donate money to that research to try to find more effective treatments or even a cure for these diseases.
What is out there for treatments for people? I can think of medication, and actually a lot of people find like movement classes, dance classes to be helpful. Are those some key things?
Right, exercise and diet always will play a good role in helping control things. But with Parkinson's disease, there are medicines that help try to regulate that neurotransmitter imbalance within the central nervous system. And if the tremors become very limiting in terms of how the person can interact with the world and their quality of life, you can actually see a neurosurgeon about getting a deep brain stimulator placed, which does a really amazing job of controlling these tremors. It's amazing when you see these patients beforehand and after they get these deep brain stimulators placed, and really realize how much their quality of life has improved.
Now, really quick, this isn't necessarily about Parkinson's, but just another issue that's going on across our state. Wisconsin DHS saying that there's been an increase in cases of the whooping cough. What should our viewers know about, the increase in this illness?
Right, so we've seen a 10-fold increase in the number of cases of whooping cough here in Wisconsin compared to this time last year. It's really important to realize that half of these cases are kids between 11 and 18. And so the most important thing you can do for those kids is to make sure they're up to date on their boosters. We all get the pertussis vaccine when we're babies, but you have to get another booster around the time you're 11 or 12 to enhance your immune system. Otherwise, you'll have waning immunity. And so really make sure that everyone in your family is up to date on those pertussis boosters.
Dr. Hartman, good to see you, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, Alex is back with a look at our first foreign forecast. Alex.
Brady, southern Wisconsin, let's track this evening. We'll plan it here. Temperatures sliding down through the 60s, getting into the upper 50s by the time you join us for our 10 o'clock newscast. So cooler than what we've been used to waking up to Wednesday morning. 50s to upper 40s to right around 50 degrees. Could see a little bit of patchy fog to start the day, especially in Wisconsin. River Valley areas up towards Camp Douglas tend to have that morning patchy fog. Then we'll do maybe some upper 70s as we go into Wednesday afternoon. That's about 5 to pushing 10 degrees above normal. And then we do a repeat as we go into Wednesday night, cooling down into the upper 40s to the lower to maybe an isolated mid-50 Thursday morning. Then we have an even warmer day expected Thursday afternoon. We're going to go into the upper 70s. Temperatures are part of our weather story. The other part of our weather story is what's going on this weekend. Saturday going on is into Sunday, Monday. We stay warm. Then we have a cold front that's going to come in as we go towards Monday and Tuesday. But before that, clouds are going to be on the increase. Friday going into Saturday, there were leftovers, the remnants, as we like to say, of a tropical system, Helene, could be impacting our weather Saturday and Sunday. First with the clouds, and then with maybe a few showers as we head towards Sunday. We're not expecting widespread or heavy rain from what's left of Helene at this point in time, but just an interesting feature that's going to be coming up from the south and southeast. That cold front then sweeps all of the remnants of Helene and any additional showers off towards the east as we go from Monday on into Tuesday. And look at those temperatures Tuesday and Wednesday. We go down into the mid-60s, ending the week in the upper 60s. Normal high temperatures for this time of year are right around 70 degrees now, so we'll stay above normal all the way through the weekend. And then as we go out into next week, temperatures going into the 60s. That will be seasonably cool for this time of year as we head towards Thursday and Friday, actually a little bit back above normal for a change. And with regards to precipitation, not a lot in the next 10 days here of heavy rain. The heavy rains that we had over the course of the weekend for a good portion of southern Wisconsin was greatly needed, even though we did have some severe weather across parts of southern Wisconsin and Sauk and Iowa and Dane counties. But marching out into early October, that first full week of October, we're going to go back into a dry pattern. We'll be right back.
Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners.
Surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners. Every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
It's hard to believe, but it's true. Even the liberal media was shocked Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners and illegal aliens.
Every transgender inmate would have access.
Kamala's for they, them. President Trump is for you.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Fall is just around the corner. Let the experts at Feldco get your home ready for the cooler temps ahead. Right now, buy one window, get one free. Plus, no interest for 3 years. Call now.
Call 866 for Feldco.
Are undocumented immigrants that are the least likely to commit a crime.
Meet Edwin Ramos. This illegal immigrant murdered 3 Americans. An MS-13 gang member, Ramos was arrested for a gun crime. But as DA, Kamala didn't prosecute him. Months later, Ramos murdered a man and his 2 sons in cold blood.
Are undocumented immigrants that are the least likely to commit a crime.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Maya knows how quality care can bring out a smile. But it's been a few dog years since she was able to enjoy a smile of her own. Good thing Aspen Dental offers affordable, complete care all in one place. With flexible hours and weekend appointments. Plus 20% off treatment plans for everyone. Loving our patients unconditionally. It's one more way Aspen Dental is in your corner.
Come and get your love.
New at 5, Madison's new BRT system is officially rolling, but the journey to get here has been nearly a decade in the making. We'll see how we got here. Then discover how these sheep are helping a local solar farm go even greener. That's coming up next.
Moving forward in your community, lending helping hands, spotlighting the people, telling the stories, warning you first. Your local news source. For nearly 70 years, News 3 Now. Moving forward.
Take a look at this. Firefighters, well, they had to think outside the box to help a deer found pinned upside down. You can kind of see it right there. Yeah. This was between a house and a garage in California. That doesn't look fun.
Not at all. Officials were able to use ropes tied to the animal's legs to slowly lift and turn it back to the right side up. A happy ending to a surreal rescue.
Oh, I bet that was very scary for that deer. Are we going to get to see the resolution? Oh, there we go.
There we go. Hey.
Oh dear.
Got him out.
That was a close one.
All right, well, sounds good. We'll be back with more after this.
I'm a two-time Trump voter.
In 2024, I cannot support Donald Trump.
Trump is 100%
responsible for January 6th.
His treatment of women, it's just disgusting.
Trump called servicemen suckers and losers.
If Trump has a second term,
it will be much worse than the first.
Kamala Harris is a prosecutor.
He's a convicted felon. In 2024,
I will be
proudly voting for Kamala Harris.
Republican Accountability PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Shop from the largest selection of Chevy trucks and SUVs in Wisconsin at Bergstrom Chevrolet. All with Bergstrom's negotiation-free upfront pricing, including our exclusive 7-day price protection and money-back guarantees. Stop in or shop and purchase at BergstromChevrolet.com.
The Friends of the Middleton Performing Arts Center present Rick Lindy and the Jukebox Legends, a musical tribute to the early roots of rock and roll. Saturday, September 28th. One show only. Tickets available online now.
We all know costs are too high, but while corporations are gouging families, Trump is focused on giving them tax cuts. But Kamala Harris is focused on you.
Building up the middle class will be a defining goal of my presidency.
She'll make groceries more affordable by cracking down on price gouging. And she'll cut housing costs by taking on corporate speculators. Middle-class families build America. We need a leader who has their back.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
A lot of law firms claim to be experts at handling injury cases that involve large trucks. But handling one trucking case does not make you an expert on the subject. Experience matters in these cases. One local firm has handled 25 trucking cases which resulted in payments over $1 million each, and hundreds of others as well. Because Wisconsinites know who to call when it's a must-win scenario. They call Habish, Habish & Rotier. National reputation, hometown service.
I'm Joan Balwig, and these days the cost to make Great-Grandma Balwig's Blue Ribbon banana bread is, well, just nuts. Wisconsin families are feeling the pinch of inflation, even on the basics. That's why I work to put dough back in your pockets. Led the effort to defend our family farms and pass the biggest tax cut in state history, because the only way to make life affordable again